Is this Lisa Fernandez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Fernandez, you're here accused of a second-degree felony of manslaughter. In this case, there is probable cause to hold you in this case. Your case is assigned felony, Court 184th District Court. When you get to that court, will you be asking for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you consent to being represented in your bail hearing today by the lawyers with the Public Defender's Office?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Kennedy, the state's position for bail in this case?
Your Honor, the state filed a motion requesting a $55,000 bond against a pretrial release. A few facts from the case. The officers were notified of the death of the complainant on April 24, 2018. The complainant received silicone butt injections from an unknown, unlicensed individual in Houston, Texas. Following the procedure, the complainant experienced coughing, shortness of breath, went to a hospital in Houston, left the emergency room before prior evaluation. The complainant then traveled back home on April 30th, 2018, was hospitalized. The complainant passed away on April 30th, 2018. Autopsy was conducted. The manner of death was ruled a homicide. The immediate cause of death was complications of silicone pulmonary embolism. Officers spoke with a witness who stated that the complainant's death occurred shortly after she went to Houston to receive butt injections. The witness stated that the first round of injections had gone bad. The complainant had gotten into a verbal altercation with the injector about getting money back. The witness stated that because the complainant could not get some of her money back, she went back for a second round of injections the next day. After the complainant received the injections, she was coughing up blood. Officers were able to verify with the complainant's phone when she was traveling to Houston and phone numbers. Officers made contact with another witness who gave the information to the complainant about where to receive the buttock injections. That witness picked up the complainant, drove the complainant to the first location, and then they went to a second location where they actually met the injector who performed the procedure on the complainant, later identified as this defendant. The second witness stated that the complainant was in a lot of pain. The defendant had to stop the procedure several times because the complainant was having a hard time breathing. The second witness was the person who transported the complainant to the first hospital. The complainant requested a refund of some of her money that she had paid since the injections were not finished. The complainant was told there were no refunds. She then went back the following day to finish the procedure since she could not get her money back, and then a week later she passed away. The second witness did observe an altercation between the defendant and the complainant. The second witness observed an altercation about how much money this defendant was going to get. The second witness was able to positively identify this defendant from a photo array as to who the person was that injected the complainant with the silicone. This defendant was arrested for traffic offenses on November 16th, 2021, and that's going to be for driving without a driver's license. She was transported to the police station, read her Miranda warnings. The defendant admitted to administering at least one syringe into the complainant's buttocks area in April of 2018. The defendant stated she was aware the complainant wasn't feeling well because she was told by the complainant that she felt lightheaded. The defendant told officers she was told by a witness the complainant had gone to the hospital and passed away a few days after the procedure. The defendant told officers she is not authorized to give the silicone that she uses to inject patients with. The defendant told officers that she is aware of the complications that could occur if the procedure is done incorrectly, and explained those complications can include the lungs filling up with blood and possible death. Here, the state filed a motion requesting no weapons, alcohol, drugs, GPS curfew, no contact with the witnesses, and no more medical procedures. The state is further against a pretrial release under Executive Order GA-13, current physical violence.
Mr. Vallejo?
Yes, Judge, we're asking the court to set bond at $20,000. We are asking the court to consider a PR bond for Ms. Fernandez. She's marking a no with the new violent criminal activity flag. She has no pending charges, has no previous violent convictions, and has never failed to appear in court. She's been living here in Houston since 2014. She is 47 years old at the moment. She lives by herself. She's self-employed. She's a beauty consultant. She works from her house. She doesn't have an official business name. She's been making a living as a beauty consultant since 2004. And further, Judge, she's going to be taking public transportation to get herself to the courthouse.
Do you know what does she mean by beauty consultant? I mean, she's not a hairdresser, right? So what is beauty consultant?
Well, Judge, I'm guessing sort of like doing nails and.
No, see, you are guessing. That's what's the problem. You can't guess. If you don't know, just say you don't know. Don't guess.
Yeah, sure.
Due to the facts and circumstances of the case, I mean, that would be a curious question to ask someone who's in the beauty consultation business. That's why I was asking, but I don't have the answer to that. I'll set your bond, ma'am, at $40,000. I won't approve you for a personal bond. You can appeal my decision to the 184th Felony District Court. Again, I wanted specifically to know what it meant when you said, even in your pretrial financial affidavit, beauty consultant, because of the facts specific to this case. I will issue conditions of bond for the safety of the public, continuing safety for the public. I'm going to order you to appear in court on the date and time that you're ordered to appear. You're not to commit any other crimes during the pendency of the case. Ms. Kennedy, what's the state's suggestion on the language of no more unlicensed medical or
prohibiting the defendant from performing any medical procedures unlicensed?
Any beauty procedures or enhancing body image procedures while unlicensed to perform any part or parts of the procedures. All right, ma'am, so I'm ordering you not to, you're prohibited from performing any beauty procedures or enhancing body image procedures while being unlicensed to perform any part or parts of those procedures. Do you understand?
I do.
All right. You'll be instructed by pretrial services in a moment and given a copy of these conditions of bond. Please have a seat.